Hey, this is Joe Markowitz with today's Liberty Dispatch. I'm going to call this Liberty Dispatch Vigilance Part 2 because we've already done one in this season earlier in the year. Talked about vigilance. I'm going to call it Vigilance Part 2. And I want you to be patient with me. This is something that I believe is a long time coming. I believe a lot of you have been asking, where's Joe in all this? Where's my perspective on what has transpired since November 3? So I'm going to try to stay on topic here, and I want you to be patient. A lot of this I'm going to read to you because it's I've been trying to be well thought out, very orchestrated, very organized. So I want you to listen carefully. You know, we are at a point in our history, and the future of America is at the crossroads. You know, it's not about Trump versus Biden. This is not about Republican versus Democrat. This is about, and what we're seeing right before our eyes is about freedom versus tyranny. This is about we the people versus we the government. And so, so much speculation and so many theories and so many comments about what happened at the election, what happened behind the scenes. You're hearing about Dominion. You're hearing about a lot of election fraud. You're hearing a lot of voices. Meanwhile, our president, Donald Trump, has been really quiet, uncharacteristically quiet. And I've been speaking to many insiders, and they have their opinions about why this is so. But I'm going to try to be as organized as I can today in this Liberty Dispatch, because this is probably the most important and pivotal Liberty Dispatch I have ever done. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to make me a target. So let me take my time, and I want you to be patient. I broke this Liberty Dispatch down to 3 separate topics. And I want to be really crystal clear in these topics. I'm going to call the first topic of our Liberty Dispatch, that is, the title of this is Vigilance Part 2. The first topic is called Free, Fair, and Legal. With the majority of Americans now believe that there was some degree of election fraud in this presidential election. And in fact, I should not just limit it to the nationwide, the federal election, but I'm talking about in states. I'm talking where senators and Senate positions are up for grabs, Congress, governorships, state houses, etc. That the majority of Americans believe that there was election fraud that occurred not just on November 3rd, the night of November 3rd, morning of November 4th, and the week following that. This election fraud could be minimal, and we may never find everything that took place behind the scenes. This is what's kind of scary. I believe that the process should be given a chance to play out. This could be very minimal. It could be systemic, so much to overturn the election in Biden's favor. But what is clear is that there's a serious trust issue. And I don't care which side of the aisle you sit on. Now, certainly on the left, people have been screaming about the 2016 election, Russian fraud, which, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Isn't it amazing that they all want us to be quiet now? That we ought to just suck it up and accept the results. That the end justifies the means. For freedom-loving Americans, constitutionalists, this is not acceptable. So there's a serious trust issue. The lack of integrity of a free, fair, and legal election in the United States would be the end of our democratic republic and America as we know it. That is point number one. Point number two, it's called "It Doesn't Add Up." Evidence is mounting of ballot tampering in swing states, and I believe that the mail-in ballots have been seriously weaponized by the left to try to create an opportunity for this election to be stolen. Think about this. The Obama administration wiretapped and spied on the Trump campaign in 2015 and 2016. Hillary paid millions for a debunked Steele dossier, a failed Mueller investigation. This is also about the alleged collusion of the Trump campaign with Russia to influence the 2016 election. And finally, the bogus impeachment of President Trump that ended up with a major distraction in America away from what was happening with the China virus, and that it was on our way to our shores to cause, well, what do I need to say about that? We've talked a lot about that. So, and now, former President Obama lecturing America that we need to get over it and accept the defeat of Donald Trump. That we should hurry up with the transition. Mainstream media is just screaming loud. Academia screaming loud. Big tech screaming loud. All the voices on the left screaming loud that we should hurry up with the transition. What was it just yesterday? Joe Biden said that more lives are gonna be lost because Donald Trump is not conceding the election. So we should hurry up with the transition since the mainstream media has declared Biden the winner. That's not the way it works in America, by the way. Mainstream media has declared Biden the winner even when there are unresolved challenges, recounts, and lawsuits regarding evidence of voter fraud in many states. If the mainstream media, the DNC, Biden, academia, and big tech all claim that they see no evidence of illegitimate vote count, then what are they afraid of? What are they afraid of if there is a patient, properly done investigation to make sure there is no election fraud? What are they afraid of? Why are they in such a big hurry? We all know the answer to that. The election, in my opinion, will be determined ultimately in the Supreme Court. Remember, those of us that remember Al Gore, remember 2000? Do you remember Al Gore was actually called president-elect? Front page of newspapers, the mainstream media all declared Al Gore the president in 2000. It was a contested election, and it came down to the Chads and all that, ultimately decided at the Supreme Court. It took 37 days for that process to play out. What are we, 2 weeks out from our election now? What's the hurry? Let it play out. If the Democrats are serious about election integrity and they are convinced that Joe Biden and Senator Harris had actually won this election, then what are they worried about? Let the investigations happen. Let it play out. And if they're so convinced that they beat Donald Trump, then what are they worried about with an investigation? It just doesn't add up. In 2012, Obama recorded the lowest number of counties won in that election with 689 counties. That was the lowest, record lowest number of counties by a president-elect. Biden only won 477 counties. And we're supposed to believe that he had more votes than Obama did in 2012? It doesn't add up. I don't buy it. Joe Biden significantly got more votes than Obama by 9 million votes. And I don't believe it. Where President Trump recorded 10 million more votes than he got in 2016. The GOP picked up more governorships, took over more state houses, flipped at least 12 House seats from the Democrats, and still not done yet, without losing a single seat that they had to protect. Likely, and we still need to see the Senate play out, likely we retained a Senate, but we're supposed to believe that we lost, that Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden by 5 million votes. I don't buy it. It doesn't add up. In a single district in Arizona, another contested swing state, the GOP retained all of their seats, but Biden got 75% of the vote in those districts. I don't buy it. It doesn't add up. Joe Biden underperformed Hillary in all major metropolitan cities except Milwaukee, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Atlanta, all in swing states. And we're supposed to believe that he beat Donald Trump? It doesn't add up. I just don't buy it. We saw Trump rallies with 10 and 20 and 30,000 people. We see Biden, who couldn't even pull together 30 people, who hid in his basement, who felt like he never had to come out of his basement, who didn't have to tell us where he stood on anything, be it court packing or be it adding two more states to banning the electoral college. He didn't have to tell us anything. He didn't have to come out of his basement. He didn't have to do rallies. He didn't have to do anything. The man is a human gaffe machine who's cognitively challenged, and everybody knows it. And we're supposed to believe that he got more votes, legitimate votes, than Donald Trump? It doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. 6 swing states nearly simultaneously on election night closed counting ballots. Because I'm telling you at that point, and you saw it too, there was such a massive Trump lead. Who coordinated all of those 6 swing states simultaneously shutting down the vote counts? Who called that? Who orchestrated it? Shutting down the vote counts? Are you kidding me? And then by the time we wake up in the morning, hundreds of thousands of votes have mysteriously showed up overnight. It was supposed to be closed down. And who called the shutting down of the count? Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, all simultaneously shut down their votes. And in the middle of the night, hundreds of thousands of votes show up, all 100% in some cases for Biden, which is statistically impossible. It just doesn't add up. This was their insurance policy. No question about it. This is the only way that Joe Biden could have ever been elected. Ever been elected. And every one of these swing states are using this Dominion voting system. I don't have time to get into that today, but it just doesn't add up. I don't buy it. I'm going to tell you this. I believe that the mail-in vote was weaponized. I believe it was manipulated without doubt to be able to pull off what I believe is a very treasonous act against the United States. And if patriots, if you and I allowed this to happen without a fight, it will be the end of America, our constitutional republic as we know it. There'll never ever again be an election that people in the United States can trust. Democracy would be over, and it ushers in some very, very scary times. Now we know why the Democrats are against voter ID laws. They're against auditing the ballots, checking signatures, the rolls of registered voters in certain counties. They're against the Electoral College. They're against the rule of law, and they're against American citizenship. Topic number 3. It's called Round Them Up. The mainstream media and big tech are in a big hurry to declare Biden a winner. We are not permitted to even be skeptical about voter fraud. Because, of course, we are not smart enough to know what's good for us. Anybody that claims to be a skeptic of this process, of the election, is called a conspiracy theorist, a radical, a racist, somebody that needs to be removed. I'll talk about the list being created. The mockery of freedom-loving Americans who just want the truth is deafening. Did you happen to notice that every single election discrepancy around the country all favored Biden? Did you ever notice that? It never fails it never favors the conservative. It never does. Oh, there might be a vote here and there, a little token vote here and there, but it never seems to favor the Republican or the conservative. In all these cases, it favored Biden. It just doesn't add up. And I'm not talking about just Biden. I'm talking about all the down ballot Democrats as well. Where's the scrutiny and legitimate journalism that we used to see in America? Where journalists seek the truth, not to be able to craft their version of the truth. Where's the journalism? Where's the scrutiny? Where's the same level of skepticism that Donald Trump had to deal with, and cynicism and abuse from day one? Where is it? Ain't gonna happen. See, I just don't buy this. We're being lectured that we should suck it up and accept it. But too many patriots care for our republic, and we won't back down. Oh, big tech will censor us? Absolutely. We've been censored. We've been suspended. We've had our difficulties. We see it all the time. So, we're going to go over to other platforms, etc. But this is the America that the left wants. Call it thought police, controlled speech. They want unity, and they want healing. And I call BS. Healing and unity is just another code word for submission. We're supposed to get over it, suck it up, and start the healing process and become a unified America. What that means is any contrary voices are being pressured, censored, told to stand down because you must submit. If you love this country, you must submit. Free speech, gone. One of our rights, and that is to petition the government. We can eat by free speech. We can criticize the government. We can criticize elections, how they're being conducted, so that we keep free, fair, and honest and legal elections. We're being criticized for that. It doesn't add up. If we don't submit, then we are called racist, Nazis, and white supremacists. This is the playbook of the left. And finally, this one. Not that this bothers me more than the other ones, but this is right out of communist playbook, socialist playbook. AOC, Robert Reich, former Obama staff, Chris Cuomo, Chris Hayes, and many others have all advocated for making lists. Lists of who? Of Trump supporters. We get on that list, so maybe in the future we can't get jobs. We're not allowed a social media account because we're a threat to America. Maybe we're permanently labeled. Just like labeled as a danger to society. Like somebody that's a convicted sex offender. Once that label is on you, it affects job applications. It affects getting a loan, a mortgage, driver's license, gun permits. Is this the next list that is being created because we care to be cynical and skeptical of what just went down? A list of people just because you might fly a Trump flag, just because you might have voted or posted something in your social media. Don't doubt me. Google, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of these guys know who are the Trump supporters. Is this the list they're referring to? What is next? What does this lead to? I mean, this is right out of 1930s Nazi Germany. This is right out of Russian and Chinese government control over the people. This is Venezuela. This is Iran. This is thought police. This is allowable speech. This is the Gestapo. Don't tell me that I'm getting too extreme here. Just yesterday, there were now let me get this right, 2 GOP electors in Wayne County, Michigan. This is one of these suspect counties where literally there were more votes than there were registered voters. 2 GOP electors had the guts to say, we're not going to certify this election. There's still recounts being done. There's still legal processes that need to be taken care of, open litigation going on right now, and they're skeptical about fraud. And a fellow board member, a Democrat, threatened to dox them. In other words, to publicize where they live, their children's names, put them on lists, call them racist. Because what? Because 2 electors just wanted to make sure we had free and truthful and accurate and legal election results. And now they're ruined. Even the national media, well, not all of them, but national media has actually given out names of these 2 GOP electors, where they live, and they're even called out as racists. What's next? Torches? Pitchforks? When's the mob showing up? If this doesn't stop, this is leading to a civil war. But maybe there's some people that want that. Mainstream media, the DNC, big tech, academia, pollsters are all colluding during COVID to take this president down. I am convinced. And as an American, in a free, legal, fair election, if my guy that I voted for didn't make it and our opponent was voted in, okay, I will deal with it. I will do what I can. I will make sure that I'm educated, make sure that I can teach other people about, how we can maybe win the next election. We dealt with that in 2008. I didn't agree with President Obama on policy. I didn't think he was good for America. When he won, yeah, I was disappointed. I was a little concerned about America. But make no mistake, what he did and Biden did for 8 years led to this guy, Donald Trump, saying enough is enough. And he came out of the marketplace, out of business, and he said, I'm going to run for president, laughed, spied on, just absolutely lambasted, fake dossiers, impeachments, Mueller investigations, threatening and intimidating supporters, throwing them in jail, middle of the night arresting people. You know it as well as I do. This guy, Donald Trump, I don't like some of his ways that he does things, and a lot of people don't. But I'm going to tell you what, he is a disruptor, he's a swamp drainer, and he kicked the hornet's nest. And now you see what's happening. In America, somebody like a Donald Trump needs to be given a chance. If he believes as a citizen that he can govern better than others, then he's got to have a chance, he or she. This is an organized coup. And I believe that Americans, we will not be ruled. And liberty in our republic is in the balance. And so I appreciate you listening today. And we'll post this. We'll see how long it stays. And but I believe that here's what I believe. I believe you and I need to pray. We need to stay in prayer. We need to trust that God, who I believe put Donald Trump in the Oval Office. I would have never predicted it, but God has a plan. And it is our duty to protect him, to pray for him, and to pray for our republic. So this is Joe Markowitz with a very heavy-duty Liberty Dispatch called Vigilance Part 2. We'll see how this plays out. Stay in prayer, and God help America.